Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
Another day, another daily dose of dismal Disney.
Of course.
We're going to talk about Muppet Babies. Disney is getting sued over the Muppet Babies. This was pretty interesting. Had a couple people send this to us yesterday. Now, for those of you who don't know, Disney owns the Muppets. They've owned the Muppets for, let's see, what was it? 2004. So they've owned them for quite some time.
Yeah.
Now, Disney has not, in my opinion, done a very good job with the Muppets. They don't understand how they work. They got lucky.
Like many other things.
Like many other things. They bought it and they just kind of squatted on it for a while. They had one pretty okay movie, and then they did the kind of ill-conceived primetime show. And it was very adult, and that didn't go very well. But they tried to reboot the Muppet Babies, which was, in its day, an amazing animated series. It was not for little kids. It was actually pretty well done. It was done by Sunbow Productions.
It was done for whoever wanted to watch it, because you could be a little kid, you could be an older person, and it would still entertain you.
Oh yeah, there were some jokes that totally flew
Right.
over kids' heads, and I would kind of put Muppet Babies in kind of the same camp as like Tiny Toon Adventures or Animaniacs, where it was
Right.
like a kid show, but it had some jokes in there that were pretty good. And they had a lot of pop culture references. Anyway, Disney rebooted it as a CGI preschool show, but they did so without the blessing of the guy who came up with the show Bible. And now there's a lawsuit because his understanding was they weren't allowed to touch the Muppet Babies without him signing off on it, because he basically came up with the whole concept and everything here. So this is coming from Deadline. This was yesterday, day before. Veteran small screen scribe Jeffrey Scott filed a 4-claim complaint in federal court yesterday against the House of Mouse. In the document, Scott alleges that ideas new and old for the Disney Junior and Disney Channel reboot that launched in 2018 were lifted from his work.
Oh, imagine that. Disney.
Yeah, right? Disney stole something? Oh my God, Disney didn't give somebody credit? Imagine that. In the very non-fluffy document, Scott and his attorney state that the Super Friends, Spider-Man, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and Dragon Tales alum, so he does have a lot of credit,
We have to get those hashtags in there.
We had to get that in there, yeah. Created the original Muppet Babies production Bible, which he owns, and in which he has a registered copyright in the early 1980s. Coming out of a long-held verbal deal, okay, this is where it's going to get verbal deal with the Jim Henson Company and previous rights holders Marvel Productions Limited, Emmy winner Scott accuses Muppets owner Disney of not keeping the agreed deals of the past, as well as having sticky fingers. And nobody wants to get sticky with baby Kermit.
Sticky with Mickey.
Oh my God, yeah, Mickey is sticky. He's got sticky fingers, sticky Mickey, as well as having sticky fingers in more recent years. This is what happened here in the filing. In 2015, Disney began the early stages of developing the new Muppet Babies show. In early 2016, Disney executives met with Scott at their request, and he presented detailed ideas for the show's updated structure. So they talked with them.
So they were aware of the deal.
They were aware of the deal. Talked about the structure, the look and the characters, and for new episodes with the understanding on both sides that if Disney used Scott's ideas and produced new episodes, it would pay for Scott's ideas and honor the commitments that Disney's predecessor, Marvel and Jim Henson, made to him. As a Disney executive then emailed Scott asking him to send Disney his ideas in writing, which Scott did. And that's where things go a bit gonzo.
This sounds a lot like what happened with Lucas and having all the treatments, and they threw them out the window.
Yeah, if they're not going to hold up their end of the bargain with George freaking Lucas, what makes you think they're going to hold up their end of the bargain with you?
I also know that if you pitch ideas to them in the contracts, you have to agree that if suddenly they have a show that's exactly like yours or very similar to yours, you can't sue them because it's just coincidental.
Yeah, we know because we signed papers.
And then they had one show that was pitched one way and then suddenly appeared in a different way with a name change and everything else. It was very similar to some of the things that we pitched to them. Now, whether or not it was intentional, we can't say, but I'm just pointing out there that this happens because we've seen it happen ourselves.
Yeah, and you can't do anything because when you sign the papers with them, you basically waive all rights to sue them. And I have to wonder how many ideas, being honest, being around Disney and seeing this sort of thing go down, this guy's got quite a resume.
And there's constant of these lawsuits happening.
Zootopia.
Yes.
Again, this isn't like some rando that just walked down the street. Same with Zootopia. The guy had a pretty impressive resume, and they're like, yeah, it's a great idea. It'd be a real shame if somebody here came up with the exact same thing and you signed a paper that...
Oh, whoops. We just came up first. This didn't tell you. Go ahead, continue.
We already have something like that in development. Sorry.
We never mentioned.
But the person developing it, they're on salary, so we don't have to
In our case, they already had the pitch and the name out there before, and then it all changed after our pitch. I mean, but it could be coincidence.
It could be coincidence, but there was plenty of time for them to revamp things, and we're not going to go...
There were some questions asked by certain people that make me think it wasn't coincidence also, but that's another story.
Anyway, adding to the strange brew, the Scott complaint names with Disney General Manager and SVP of Original Programming, Disney Junior Joe Ambrosia, and Disney TV SVP Original Programming, Alyssa Cooper, Sapphire in the hot seat. Scott is informed and believes that when Disney executives D'Ambrosia and Sapir, I thought it was Sapphire. Sapir solicited Scott's ideas for a Muppet Babies reboot. They and their superiors at Disney knew and concealed from Scott that Disney had assembled or was assembling a production team for the reboot, and that they and their superiors had no intention of offering Scott an opportunity to work on the reboot or even pay him for his ideas, which they intended to use without complying with their obligations under the parties' implied agreement. Now, sometimes when you have a verbal agreement, even if you didn't sign papers, if it was understood and it was acknowledged
and you have enough
evidence, and it was acknowledged by Disney in email, that is as good as having a signed contract.
Yeah, we know some people who need to know about that.
Like if you have somebody constantly refer to you as a partner in correspondence and email, and then all of a sudden they switch it and you're just an employee and you're out the damn door.
And they take everything even if it doesn't belong to them.
Even if it doesn't belong to them, it was understood by both parties that there was a partnership. In this case, this guy had emails from the Disney executives that they were like, oh, yeah, we're going to honor that
And
agreement.
In this case, we've talked to many, many lawyers, so we know that this is how it works.
Yes. Disney did not reply to requests for comment on what is surely a red-faced situation for them with someone of Scott's pedigree, no matter how you slice it.
This kind of reminds me of the van from Onward too, where they rented it. They rented her van. They never told her that they were going to use it for that, and then that they didn't have to pay her for it. And then she was after them for a bunch of money for the merchandising because it was her van. She designed it. They modified it to be different, but it was clearly taken from her van. Right. And that case just disappeared, guys. Where the hell did that go?
Mickey's money makes a lot of things disappear, but Mickey's running out of money. So via the lawyers, Scott is seeking a variety of monetary damages, a look at the Muppet Babies books for profit, and a developed for television by credit on the 2 seasons and counting digitally animated show. That's certainly going to change the colors on Nanny's socks. Ha ha ha. Ha ha. So yeah, the Muppets have kind of a history with Disney. Before they bought them in 2004, obviously they had the Muppet attraction in Hollywood Studios, which is badly in need of an update. But they were also pimped out for a while to this Munich-based EM.TV merchandising company. So the Hensons sold it. They sold the Muppets for $680 million to EMTV, right? And then they bought it back for $78 million. And a couple of years later, they turned around and sold them to Disney.
An undisclosed amount of money.
Undisclosed amount of money. And since that time, Disney has basically flushed the Muppets down the commode. As far as I'm concerned, they don't get it. And then you look at what the Hensons are doing with, Dark Crystal, which is amazing.
Amazing.
Was, because Netflix canceled that. And I have to wonder, would the Muppets be better off with Henson? But see, now here's the thing. I forgot all about them selling to EMTV. Mm-hmm. I thought that it went directly from the Hensons to Disney in 2004. So this tells me that, this is their father's legacy. It tells me they really didn't think that much of it.
Right.
Personally. That's just, so I'm like, apparently they were just looking to unload the Muppets wherever they could, which is a shame because that should be, again, this is another case of a corporation coming in, taking an authentic voice, which was Jim Henson, buying it and then not knowing what to do with it. And there's been a lot of controversy around Disney's handling of the Muppets. The voice actor of Kermit the Frog got gone because he didn't play ball with the mouse. Mm-hmm. Steve Whitmire, and they replaced him. So it's just, they don't know what the hell they're doing. They really don't. And now they're going to get sued. So I got to wonder, again, Disney's going to get sued again. So now I got to wonder if they'll just be like, you know what? Just screw it. Who wants some Muppets? We got to sell some assets, guys. Who wants it? Highest bidder. And here comes, the Henson Company with like $20 million this time.
Who knows?
And they'll just be like, yeah, let's just get these guys back. I don't know. But it's very interesting. And we can tell you again, from personal experience, this, frankly, is how Disney does things.
Yep, I would agree.
Is how they do things. So there we go. So we're going to wrap this one up.
Yep.
Okay, so please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, and we'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.